episode of the Talkcast Podshow is brought to you by Skillshare. You know, when I'm standing around beautiful vistas like this, I hate to shatter the illusion, but it's actually a lie. I'm really standing in front of a blue screen. And even that's a lie, because I'm actually in front of a green screen. And I'm wearing a blue shirt, for God's sakes. I'm not that mean to Kaiser. Luckily, this, among many, many other skills, are skills that you can pick up through Skillshare's wonderful learning community full of creative and passionate people looking to take your skills to the next level. They got classes in animation, illustration, video editing, and if you're somebody that already has some of these very marketable skills, they also have classes in freelance entrepreneurship. But you don't need to take my word for it, you can try it out yourself. Check the link in the description below or in the pinned comment, and you can get an extended free trial of Skillshare's wonderful services. So thank you once again to Skillshare, and now on to the Talkcast Podshow. I wonder where I am now. Hello and welcome to the Talkcast Podshow, the #1 show on the internet and your next approaching challenger. I'm your host, the master of the TFS arcade, Lanny Pator. And this week I am joined by the player 1 to my player 2, Kaiser Neko.
Bafanada.
And the keeper of the coveted high score, Grant.
Heaven or hell, duel 1. Let's rock.
We shall rock it. Speaking of the mid-2000s action comedy, let's talk about the rundown.
I don't like that setup at all. How dare you?
No, too bad.
Never saw it.
Too bad, I'm doing it. It's pretty all right. I enjoy it.
Worthy of a segue, you'd say?
Worthy of a segue. So, just to bounce off of last session, like our last episode, Jujutsu Kaisen continues to be great.
Yep.
Todo is a precious boy. I love him, and if he were real, I would die for him.
I too love my best friend.
I want him to be my best friend.
Who doesn't want Todo to be their best friend? Grant, have you seen Jujutsu Kaisen?
I was just going on to Crunchyroll to see how many episodes I had stopped on so I could tell you exactly. But the only thing I really remember, or like the last thing I remember happening is probably right before it's actually going to start getting interesting, is I feel like we were introducing the upperclassmen characters. I met the panda guy and the guy who only speaks in, I want to say, ingredients or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're close to where Todo is introduced.
Okay. Yeah, because Todo did not sound familiar to me, so I did not know who you were talking about.
He's the man who asked you what kind of women you like.
Okay.
He's great. So get there and
meet your best friend.
You'll understand.
You'll know.
Hurry up and meet your new best friend. He's amazing.
Okay.
In other news, the new Spider-Man movie finally has a official title, No Way Home. So has a bunch of interesting implications to it, considering what we know about it so far.
Real quick, before we talk about how that's going to impact the film proper, yesterday it was like this social media thing where Tom Holland and I can't remember who else it was, but they both tweeted different titles for the movie, and it was like
3 stars.
It felt like this just very manufactured, like, what's going on? And I don't know, something about that just felt very cheesy and fakey to me. It came off very weird. Like,
it was, apparently it's supposed to be an inside joke because Tom Holland leaked the title of Far From Home like before the studio was ready to.
That happening.
So
fair enough.
In that regard, I think it's cute. Like the major thing is, I think the only reason it seemed so awkward was that the way that media is being disseminated right now, like news regarding media is being disseminated, it is so difficult to tell what is a joke right now or what is like, because a lot of people were thinking, okay, one of these 3 titles must be it, and some people were even saying it's Phone Home. It's definitely Phone Home, right? No, it was literally none of those. Turns out it's No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Phone Home will be when they go back to space again or some shit.
That'll be the Peter Parker joins the Guardians of the Galaxy and they gotta bring him back to Earth.
Yeah.
I'll admit the little reveal trailer with Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob Batalon was cute. That was cute. Like, yeah. And also, I always forget that Tom Holland is British. How do I forget this?
The funny thing is, like, the last thing I saw him in was that one Netflix movie about, like, I think it was like a serial killer in the South. I can't remember
I haven't watched
the
it,
Devil
but
something or something.
Yes.
Yeah, the devil all the time.
Devil all the time. It was a good movie. Like, I recommend it if you like, you know, those kind of sort of nuanced crime thrillers. It's a good watch, and he pulls off, you know, it's a lot easier for a trained Brit actor to pull off an American accent than it is the other way around convincingly. So, but yeah, he's good. He's damn good. Other news in Marvel, we've been dropped that we're getting a Deadpool 3 that's rated R through the Marvel line, which will be interesting.
I had no idea about that. What?
Yeah, they officially announced that we're getting Deadpool 3 and it's rated R.
Oh, I mean, wait, wasn't that, man? If I remember correctly, wasn't that like back in January?
Maybe. But it came back up again recently because there's a lot of people out there complaining that the Blade movie has not been confirmed to be rated R, which is interesting because Blade was kind of part, this is me, like I actually did read some Marvel comics back in the early 2000s. Blade was part of their Marvel Knight series, which was like, you know, the more mature, the more graphic Marvel stuff. And Blade is about decapitating vampires that, you know, rip people open.
Yeah, you can turn that PG-13. Decapitations, you can see those.
I will see. I will say, one of my favorite superhero movies of all time is actually the original Blade, and I actually really liked Blade 2. Blade 3 sucks.
Blade 2 is really good and still stands up as a as one of those early 2000s Marvel movies. In fact, I think Blade was Marvel's first actual success in film.
That might be true. I also, Blade 1 has one of my favorite lines in any comic book movie, which is, some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
I've still never seen any of them. I've heard mostly good, at least for the first two.
Be prepared for terrible CG in both.
Nice.
Yeah, the CG is awful
is it
in
better
Blade
than
2.
Elektra?
I never saw Elektra, so I can't say, but I'm going to assume
it actively is not.
Oh, wait, it isn't? Oh, hold on.
Blade 2 came out earlier and had a lower budget.
Okay.
Although I will say the CG in 2, in some spots is real good, and in other spots is real bad.
They hide it very well, and it's because Guillermo del Toro really loves using practical effects. But if you go back and watch 2, it's one of the first movies with Donnie Yen in it, and you get to see a young Norman Reedus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Baby Reedus.
As Blade's vampire hunting buddy.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Yeah. It is a fun watch. I actually rewatched it recently. Other Marvel news, WandaVision continues to be great, and we will definitely be talking about it when the season ends. Mm-hmm. This last episode, holy shit. Like that, I will say that I kind of called something like that happening, but it was like the way they showed it was really cool.
I felt like the last episode had some pacing issues. I felt like they had this great premise, but they didn't have a whole lot to fill it with. So I felt like that entire episode was really padded until we finally got to the point, that big point that anybody actually cares about.
A majority of the episode was spent on, you know, the actual joke of what they were parodying, which is, you know, more modern sitcoms.
I was kind of disappointed as a big Modern Family fan. I feel like it's not that the episode revealed a bunch of cool stuff and did cool things, but I was hoping they would play more with that format, and I feel like it was kind of like, I mean, probably adequately so, but it just felt like it was like definitely the second fiddle to the other stuff that was happening in the episode.
I have to agree, that was such a great premise. The idea, the concept, like, what a great way to get meta. And then genuinely, I was disappointed with their use of it. I mean, honestly, which
they kind of touched on some stuff with it, but they didn't go all the way like you kind of wanted them to.
Yeah. But that being said, it for me, weirdly enough, it was kind of one of my least favorite episodes of the season. But it's also a show that I've been greatly enjoying. So even if I were to say that the latest episode of WandaVision was its worst, it's still better than a lot. Like,
a lot of other things out there.
Yes. Yeah. To be frank.
One thing I can give. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
All right, I was gonna say one thing I can give WandaVision for sure is the last year I would say I was kind of like I felt done with Marvel stuff, like particularly kind of after the whole Endgame thing. I feel like everyone sort of felt this like release, this was the event we were all heading towards and looking forward to. And now that it was done, it was kind of like, all right, balls in Marvel's court to make me want to stay around.
Even Spider-Man was kind of I guess we'll go see it. It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man definitely felt like this, like I'm feeling here out of obligation, but I don't know how much I'm gonna care about future Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff.
And don't worry, we aren't going to go into spoilers here. For anybody worried about WandaVision spoilers, we are not talking spoilers. We are going to talk all the way around them.
I'm talking more about a general thing, which is like Age of Ultron was a Marvel movie that I feel like I saw and then kind of never revisited it again. I was very middling to negative on Age of Ultron. And with WandaVision, I was kind of like, I forget a lot of Vision's origin. How did he show up? Why did he join the Avengers? What was his thing? So I rewatched Age of Ultron last week, and it held up better than I remembered. I still think Ultron's ugly human lips should not be a thing. It feels like a holdover from the Michael Bay Transformers that I always thought was a gross design choice. But that... I forgot how much we talked about Infinity Stone stuff, even all the way back then.
Age of Ultron really introduced a lot of those concepts, and there's a lot of. I actually saw a few video essays, kind of like popping up here and there about, kind of the brilliance of the marketing. Like, while Age of Ultron was not very well received when it came out, it kind of fell flat, including for me. Like, I always thought it was one of the weaker ones until after Endgame came out, and you realize all of the stuff that like made Endgame so good was set up in Ultron.
Yes, that's actually what I was gonna bring up, is that retroactively I realized like how much stuff that movie actually set up, and it sets it up very well, and I don't know if subtly is the right word, but it gives it like kind of just the right amount of information to be like, this is going to be important later, but none of us really know how to talk about it right now. But it's one of those like, you're going to need to take note of this. Remember that this happened. And like that it was way more effective at that than I remember, and I don't think I ever actually gave it that credit. So going back to revisit stuff, WandaVision's been very good for that.
I genuinely really enjoyed Age of Ultron when it came out, mostly because while I was really dissatisfied with where they ultimately took Ultron in that film, I actually really liked him as a villain. I liked his motivation. I liked his character. I just wish they hadn't killed him. Like, that was such a, like, I understand
that's the biggest problem that Marvel's had with a lot of their earlier movies. They killed off like the most intriguing characters.
Mostly just because they're like, yeah, we don't want to have to, contract this person for another movie, and it's easier to just kill them off, and they're probably not even going to get a sequel starring them anyway, so what's the point? Like, so that's kind of the double-edged sword of the whole cinematic universe for Marvel, is that when you've got all these movies that are interconnected, it is really tough for these individual movies to get a whole ton of sequels dedicated primarily to themselves. And also all of the fucking rogues gallery. It's like, well, we want this villain. Okay, well then this guy's like, we can't have recurring villains if you're all gonna want this different villain from this different fucking superhero like story to come back.
That felt like what they wanted to do with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. I mean, you still have some of the villains kind of floating around. And I know Crossbones really, like, from the beginning of Civil War was really kind of an antagonist in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
But you still have some characters out there like Sam Rockwell ready to come back if they decide to introduce Hammer in any way, shape, or form. So
apparently Ben Kingsley is canonically not the real Mandarin. Like there was an extra
he's based
thing
on somebody.
There was an extra thing to reveal that like he was just posing as the Mandarin. That was like, I don't know if it was like a DVD extra kind of thing, but I don't think I ever saw that. But
yes,
I later read that like, Ben Kingsley's character such and such was later contacted by the real Mandarin. I'm like, wait, that sounds important. That sounds like something I should have seen in a movie.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was no movie where they could have shown that. So it was just released as a short online. I think it was like 5 minutes long.
They're introducing. they're introducing like so many other like things now with like their next phase though. So maybe they do want to get into that realm where they introduce the Mandarin and Fin Fang Foom for like, Shang-Chi or something.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Shang-Chi is where the Mandarin's going to show up. That's why they did it. So you'll see the Mandarin in Shang-Chi, which is, I guess, all right.
We'll see. Like we have little to no information on that, but this is all speculation, and we will definitely be talking more about WandaVision as soon as that season ends.
Yeah, with spoilers.
With spoilers that time. In other comic book news, CW released a version of Superman that everybody seems to actually really like.
I've been seeing that clip going around. I didn't know what it was from.
Yeah, Superman and Lois. It aired last night, apparently.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And with a green car and everything, nice little tribute. I've seen
my mom made it for me. Like it's just like it's cute, it's wholesome, it's what you want Superman to be in a lot of ways. Truth, justice, the American way, the best of us.
I've seen a lot of different responses to it. I mean, the response to it, like the clip, is generally positive. I haven't seen many people who are frustrated about that. I have seen a lot of discourse on a lot of people saying this is what Superman should be. And I've seen,
it's how I feel.
I've said this before, but Snyder fans can be really aggressive. And like when anyone says, oh, this is what Superman should be, you get one or two different, and I'm not saying this is all Snyder fans, but I am saying the people who disagree
this comes
with
from Snyder fans.
Yeah, a lot of the disagreement with that statement has come from Snyder fans, and what they've had to say is either one, this is what Superman was in those films, you just didn't get it, or two, you just want Superman to be the same all of the time. You don't want any variation. And it's like, hey, I'm not fucking.
It's more about what he represents, and honestly, like I might actually like I did not see it, but I've been seeing all the clips, and I think I might actually go and watch it. I have been on a bit of a superhero kick lately.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
my personal belief with Superman is that yes, he should be a big blue Boy Scout. And that should be something that he chooses to do every time. And his attitude should be positive and aggressively trying to do the right thing. And then you can introduce the dark stuff that knocks him down. That's why I didn't like the Snyder films, because I felt like he
didn't have a chance to be the Boy Scout.
we want to jump straight to dark and gritty.
Yeah, it went straight to dark and gritty. That's the thing that I didn't like about the Snyder films, is I never got this feeling that he was this positive force, who was raised by good people. The films actively made that like not apparent, and oh my god.
The fact
at least we have a reason to talk about Snyder here.
Yeah, and we can, when the Snyder Cut comes out, I'm sure we'll have a much deeper discussion on this. But the fact that the biggest thing that killed that entire franchise for me was the fact that the second movie in it was the death of Superman. So
I know, right?
Stop it. Like you don't earn that from one movie.
We don't have time to mess around with good guy Superman. He's gotta die.
The new 52 like animated stuff was better. Like is better than what we've been given with the like live action, like the Snyderverse.
Although I still don't like that either. They still use Dick Superman, and I don't like Dick Superman.
He gets better as it goes.
Yeah.
Like a lot better. But to slowly transition into the topic today, modern games and stuff. Last bit of the rundown: the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has been kind of put on the indefinite shelf as the entire dev team has been pulled from the game due to reasons that we weren't really given.
Good God, goddamn.
I mean, they basically said that the game was not looking up to snuff for their from their perspective, and they were like, players will be disappointed if this is what we put out.
So the first one's like a big cult classic.
Yeah, I'm real curious what that was looking like, because that is a lot of time, money, and development to have put into something and gone, let's put more time and money and effort into this. This is not going to be enough.
Yeah, so they have like stripped it from the development team that it was on, and are like the publisher is currently giving it to a different dev team to work on what they had. Like they aren't starting from scratch apparently, but it's not coming out in 2021 anymore. So for I know Martin out there is a huge Vampire the Masquerade fan. Anybody else out there is that's too bad. I'll be interested. I like RPGs like that, but
I never
can
played
wait.
it. I've heard the people though who like it really like it.
It's like Vampire Deus Ex, basically. Like kind of in that game vein where first person.
I didn't
you got,
ask
like,
for this.
Yeah, I didn't ask for this. Bleh. Oh, negative. But yeah, transitioning from there into our main topic, which is modern day gaming and stuff.
Video games. They happen.
We had a Nintendo Direct last week, which I was lucky enough to have power during it, so I was able to watch all of the RPGs that Nintendo has had made.
I still haven't messed with the Project Triangle strategy, and that's honestly, of everything that they talked about, I'll go ahead and say that's my front runner for thing I am like most curious about, just because I haven't played a good tactics game that I really liked in a long ass time, and that is a genre I feel like I am ready to feel I love again.
Same. I haven't played, like, the last tactics game I really liked was Tactics Advanced.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I forgot Fire Emblem, I guess technically counts there. That's kind of different in my mind.
It's a different kind of tactic RPG, though.
But yeah, that kind specifically, I feel like, is one I haven't played in a minute.
I'm starting to think that Nintendo Directs are not how I want to experience the dissemination of information via Nintendo anymore. Because at this point, I am almost certain that the things that would actually get people hyped, a majority of them are going to get their own spotlights nowadays. And I think the Nintendo Directs, yeah, exactly. And I feel like the Nintendo Directs are basically just a grab bag of a bunch of stuff that they didn't feel like deserved a full spotlight and Smash.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Directs are. We got this, and maybe this new character coming to Smash. Here's one like announcement teaser for like a game that we are actually developing, and then here's a bunch of like here's the new WWE Brawlers game and all this other stuff. Like,
hey, they announced a mobile Star Wars game coming to Switch. That's some big stuff.
I will say, like, so congratulations to all you fans, Zelda fans out there.
You can pay $60 for the worst Zelda game again.
Well, okay, at least now it'll be playable.
And you can get some really cool Joy-Cons that hopefully they've worked the drifting out of.
I mean, hey, you can. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I gotta point out, when somebody on Twitter pointed out the fact that like, oh, it's $60 whole goddamn dollars for a game that is now $20. This is a little ridiculous, don't you guys think? And then a bunch of people, like, I ended up retweeting that, and then I got a bunch of people responding saying, then don't buy it.
Yeah.
And shut up.
I won't.
Yeah, and like my only response to that is shut up, shut every single fucking god damn it. Stop responding with, well, then don't buy it anytime anyone has any fucking criticism of something you might like. You are a child. You are a fucking child. Let people criticize things. If you disagree, state, I don't think it's that much, but don't say, don't buy it, you fucking toddler. Sorry, I'm bothered.
That type of response is counterproductive, because that's what you look at it, like that's what you critique about. It's like, I don't think this is worth blank. I think this might be worth blank. And honestly, like the fact that they are allowing you to play controller style, because the thing that initially like popped out of my head when they said they were bringing this to the Switch, and I know that it's all motion controls, I'm like, what about the light? What about the one that you can't undock? And they're like, oh, you can also play it like this, using the thumbstick to strike in different directions. I'm like, oh.
Well, I mean, the game was built from the ground up expecting you to use the Wii Motion Plus. So like, I knew there was no way they were going to get away from that. You were going to have to be able to facsimilate that somewhere on a controller if they were going to want to put this out on the light. What I'm curious about, because they didn't, as far as I know, mention it anywhere in there. So if the right stick is how you're going to be swinging your sword, how do you move the camera? And like, is it going to be one of those Metal Gear Rising Revengeance things where you have to like anchor the camera with a button? Mode. Yeah. Because that sounds kind of counterintuitive, and like it's one of those things where Like, real talk, I understand if they wanted to put this out, they were going to have to figure out some sort of compromise there, and do that. And this is maybe the, like, I'm sure they had a whole team trying to figure it out, since it's probably among the best ways they could have done it. But nothing about this sounds like an appealing package to me, and I'm already going in as someone who, what little time I spent with Skyward Sword, I thought it was a bad Zelda game, so I was not looking forward to trying to mess with it again. But this just seems like a double shooting yourself in the foot, and it's really unfortunate that it also came on the back of the director kind of coming out and just kind of sheepishly apologizing, saying we don't have any Breath of the Wild 2 stuff to talk about. So here's a game you all kind of knew was going to be coming and probably didn't want anyway. Hope you like it. And
Honestly,
it's $60.
I feel like if they had just done what they did with the, like, the 3D Mario releases and just like packaged it with, I don't know, like Twilight
Hell
Princess.
Yeah. This would be a very different conversation if it was like Zelda 3D collection coming with, like
let's
Skyward
say,
Sword, Ocarina of Time, and Wind Waker or something.
Yeah.
Like would have been awesome. And if they would have been like, and that's $120 or something, I still probably would have been like, hell yeah, I'm throwing down for that. That's $60 a piece for 2 games I will definitely play, and one I might.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got Mario 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine for $60. Why can't you package 3 old Zelda games together? I mean, maybe they're larger games, but I don't feel like it. Those Mario games are pretty packed with shit.
I'm pretty sure that we're getting Wind Waker all on its own.
Didn't we already?
Not for the Switch.
Oh, right. They only did that for the Wii U so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get the Wii U version of Wind Waker for the Switch. Which, hey, I might play Wind Waker finally. I never got the chance, so if it actually ends up coming out for the Switch, hooray! I hear it's a very good Zelda game. The only Zelda game I've ever actually played was what's it called? The fucking Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
So
I've only ever beaten 2 Zelda games. I've beaten Breath of the Wild and one that will never get a remaster just because of how it works mechanically, Link Between Worlds.
Oh yeah.
Because you need that DS like close it and open it functionality sometimes. You could probably make it work on the Switch, but there are certain like DS Zelda games that like Phantom Tracks, where you need to like, okay, I'm gonna mark this on the bottom here, close the game and open it up again, and now it's on the top.
I will say this, with the way, like, so I'm actually okay with them being an individual release, specifically because I really, really don't like the 3D All-Stars release. They felt like really cheap ports, and I would rather...
And they were very bare essentials, like it was, like, not to split hairs on what you're expecting from an HD collection thing, but like I feel like a lot of them tend to have like some bonus things in there, some like extra kind of, some bells and whistles on top of it just being the game. But the 3D All-Stars was definitely like, here are literally these 3 games, and I think maybe a soundtrack player, that might have been a thing, but I would be honestly not surprised if that wasn't it. Because I feel like everything I saw, because I didn't end up getting it myself, but all I saw was just like, this is just the games. They gave you nothing on top.
Yeah, you got to get them quick before they go back into the Nintendo Vault.
Oh, yeah. See, so my problem is I have no interest in Mario fans just fucking skewering me. I don't care. I have no interest in Sunshine. I have negative interest in Sunshine. I see the gameplay and I'm like, no, you lost me. I don't care. I God knows I wanted to play Galaxy, like really fucking bad, but I've already played I played 64 until my fucking thumbs bled, and I don't want to return to that, and I have no interest in Sunshine, so it's like, oh great, I'm gonna have to pay all this money for 2 games I don't want to get the 1 game I do want.
Yeah, I might eventually play through them. I have them. Just, I'm trying to think of how many Mario games I've beaten. It might be Odyssey and Yoshi's Island.
I find it very funny that I've played more Sonic games than I have Mario games.
There are more Sonic games than there are Mario games, though.
True.
They keep releasing them. Like they grab the
Unless you
shovel and
count
it's
every
like
Mario sport game, Mario Party, Mario Kart, Dr. Mario, Mario Hotel.
I mean, I think it's valid enough to call those Mario games. But
that's what I want. Speaking of Mario games, New Super Mario World 3D was re-released on Switch, as well as an extra thing with Bowser's Fury, which was short, but a really cool proof of concept of kind of an open world Mario game, which made me start thinking what I want is like an open world Mario game where it is like a Mario game that also basically has like, there is a Mario, like a fully fledged Mario Kart part of it. There is a Mario, like you can run up on a tennis court and now you are playing Mario Tennis. You can find a golf course and you are playing Mario Golf, and like the Star Collectathon thing is still there. It's just you are also doing these as parts of it, and I think that would be friggin' cool, and that would be a neat direction for them to go. But also, you could charge $60 for a big game that has 6 littler games in it, or you could just charge $60 6 times, and no Nintendo fans are gonna spend that money every time. So I doubt that's gonna happen, but it's a dream that I had while messing with Bowser's Fury that such a thing might exist one day.
It would be really cool. I mean, it's not impossible. I just like, what would they call it? Like Mario Infinite or something? Or
something like that.
Would they literally just go back and call it Mario World?
I would be down with that. If this was just Super Mario World, it's just like, or the Super Mario World, Storm, The Revenge. I would definitely be down for something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, that whole direct, I think like the things I took out of it were RPG, anime titties and Smash, and
well, and it's not even just RPG.
No More Heroes 3.
Yes, No More Heroes 3 got a cool trailer. Something about how it looks. I haven't played No More Heroes 1 or 2 in quite a while. Something about how it plays looks different to me in a bad way, but I'm not sure how to put my finger on it. And it could just be my imagination since I haven't played those games in like a decade. But I'm still very curious about it. Also, Splatoon 3 is a thing.
Yeah, I have like little interest in that. Like I played Splatoon 2 a little bit, but it's an interesting game. It's just not for me. It's like I'd be just as excited if they announced ARMS 2.
I feel bad because genuinely, I've seen so many people who have been excited. Actually, weirdly enough, considering I know how popular Splatoon is, I've heard like a deafening silence on my Twitter about people excited about Splatoon 3. And again, I know how popular it is. It's just, it seems like everyone was like, yeah, Splatoon 2 is real good. And then Splatoon 3 is happening and everyone's like, okay, all right.
Splatoon always caught me as a game that people loved its aesthetic way more than the actual game itself.
Yeah.
But the thing that bugged me about the Splatoon 3 reveal is like it has this like kind of cool, almost cinematic like trailer, and it feels like it's setting up to be a very different game than the original. It feels like it's going to be this, more exploring based game, but then they kind of immediately undercut it and just like kind of instantly bring you back to what looks like Splatoon 2, but now it's a desert. And it felt like this very like quick just like switcheroo of where I was like, ooh, okay, I could definitely see a really good like story focused Splatoon game. I know Splatoon 2 had a solo campaign you could do, but it really kind of felt like they were just sort of putting this multiplayer game in a weird single player box. I could definitely see them like focusing on a single player and making that like the priority, but it just very much felt like no, this is just more Splatoon. Hope you like it.
They seem to emphasize the character creation. Was there character creation in 1 and/or 2?
I think there was.
I feel like there was.
I think this one was a bit more detailed, but I do think that there was.
Okay,
and you get a little buddy.
Yeah,
they added the buddy thing.
Yeah, I only ever played Splatoon. I think I played Splatoon 1 or 2 while I was visiting Kieran once, and that's the like most I remember from it. So.
Yeah, I played it in the office, like in the old office with you guys at one point. That was about it.
Yeah, I didn't have a Wii U, so I didn't play Splatoon 1 at all. And then when I got a Switch, I was dying to just have any video games on it that weren't Breath of the Wild after I beat it. And I was like, hey, Splatoon 2, that's a Nintendo game. They make good things. Let's see it. And like, it's fun. Like, I totally get people who like Splatoon, but it's like, I played it for a weekend and then I was like, okay, I think I've played the Splatoon I need to play.
Like I said, it was kind of the same way I felt about ARMS. It's like, this is mechanically fun. I'm enjoying myself with this, but I'm not going to sink myself into it. And that's kind of a problem you run into these days because there are just so many games coming out, especially as the tools to make them become more and more approachable, that you get all these great indie games as well.
Yeah. Actually, the indie game scene has been where I've been like at my most excited. If anybody's been following what I've been doing lately, I've been playing through Hollow Knight. And I did my full, like, I've done all the streams I'm gonna do for it, but I did at least like 13 streams with Hollow Knight.
Yeah, and between Hollow Knight and Hades, you've been indieing it up.
Yeah, and Gunfire Reborn and Super Animal Royale. Those have been the, like, hell, I guess Little Nightmares 2 is that technically indie?
Yes.
Okay, well, hey, right now I'm playing through Little Nightmares 2, was playing Among Us with all of you guys. Like, man.
Valheim seems to be taken off.
Valheim is really good. Have either of you tried it yet?
I have not.
I've only heard of it because you've been playing through it. So
it's pretty damn fun. Basically, take the leveling system from Elder Scrolls Oblivion. You know, like you gain levels by doing things, not by gaining experience points and then you plug it into a tree somewhere. So you do things and you get better at things by doing them. Like if you're using an axe,
the classic Morrowind level up system.
Yeah, you'll improve your ability with axes. If you're cutting down trees, you'll improve your ability to cut down trees. If you're running, you improve your running ability, jumping, etc. And the crafting system, while incredibly bare bones, actually benefits from that because I spent an entire stream at one point just building a lantern, as I ended up calling, or as my chat ended up calling it. And I felt like only an hour passed as I'm just building this house on top of a hill after carving out the top of this mountain, patting down the land to make a good foundation, and then building this giant longhouse that I decided to add a chimney to. There's a lot that you can do in that game, and there is a huge world for you to explore that's procedurally generated that it's just full of mysteries and really cool stuff. And it's still in early access. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't mess with it initially. One of my friends was playing it, and the way he described it, like, even though he was having a good time, I feel like really undersold it, because the way he threw it to me was just like, you've played Rust, it's like that, but now you're Vikings. And I'm like, all right, Rust is cool, I guess, but I don't know if I want to get into another one of those. But like looking into it afterwards, I feel like it's definitely more than just one of those. It is still one of those, but very different. And seems like it has a lot more to offer. So I will probably look into it at some point soon.
Yeah, it just has that RPG twist to it where you're upgrading your stuff at a decent click. It always feels like you're progressing, I think, is the best part. So, or I guess, you know, it's a good part, but it's also kind of the most addicting part.
Yeah, no, it's that Skinner box. Like, hey, you just you upgraded. I
want to see these meters fill up.
Hell
look
yeah!
At you! Look at you! You're so much better at swimming now. Oh, look at that! You just leveled up stealth. Want to shoot that deer? You leveled up your bow.
Yeah.
It's that Skinner's box of constant progression that you always feel like you're achieving something. And when I say these worlds are huge, the world they give you, if you go to the map after you first spawn in and scroll all the way out, it's fucking huge, like crazy big. So yeah, that's a hard mark for me to check out that. I've been playing it on Fridays with a few friends. It's good.
I'm quite curious about it.
Yeah, one of my friends was actually asking me about it, so I think that's what I'll end up doing myself.
Mm-hmm. BlizzCon also happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the wrong guy. Here's the thing. I know that Blizzard probably talked about some cool stuff. I don't think there is a single Blizzard game that I've really ever gotten into, so I'm the wrong guy for their cons.
I was really into Overwatch. Then I wasn't.
But Overwatch 2, Kaiser, they're giving people shinier clothes.
So, if anybody has ever heard my opinion on Blizzard and its let's just get beyond the whole the response to the activism, scandal, drama, etc., etc.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that actually that was what ended my particular interest in Blizzard games. But the thing that actually, like, my overarching problem that I've had and that I'd struggled with for a while, I do not like loot boxes. In fact, I think that loot boxes that you can pay for are absolutely 100% morally absolutely unacceptable. You should not be able to pay money for loot boxes.
It is literally it's literally gotcha gambling.
Yeah, you should be able to specifically pay money to buy a thing that you want. I will accept that. Not for loot boxes, not for gambling. I look
at the difference between Overwatch and League of Legends, where Overwatch is a game you pay $60 for, and then if you want to get costumes for the people that you like, you either have to grind like hell or pay them actual money for a chance at it. Whereas at least League of Legends, it's free to play, and feel however you will about the game. If you want to buy something for a character you like, you just buy it.
Yeah. And that's why I can't approve of loot boxes. It's legalized gambling, often for children. It's predatory. It affects people with gambling disorders. It creates gambling disorders in people without them even knowing. They know what they're doing. They've talked about the fact that they know what they're doing openly and actively at their conferences.
So Bobby Kotick admits to being a child predator, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. Child Kotick is a child predator, and he has admitted to doing so.
There you go.
But yeah, sorry. Like, I got on that Jim Sterling train way early. Or, I'm sorry.
Stephanie Sterling?
Jim Stephanie Sterling. I got on that train early, and I've been riding it hard because everything that they've had to say, I have poor impulse control. $300 into fucking Overwatch, and that's not all my money. Some people bought me a bunch of loot boxes, and I still wasn't getting the stuff that I actually wanted. That's insane. That is unacceptable. That is 100% predatory practices. They know what they're doing. Fuck them.
If I spend more than open up my Dragon Ball Legends packs, though.
Yeah, right. If I end up spending $100 on your fucking product, I better have what I want. If I don't, go fuck yourself. And I will say that again, and I want that to be on the record. If you are spending twice the amount of money that you did buying the fucking game and you still can't get the things that you want out of it, it is exploiting you.
Okay, I'm glad you added that part at the end there, because there are a lot of games that I've certainly paid more than my entry fee in DLC and post support.
Yeah, like honestly, as long as I know where my money is going and I'm getting what I want, that is my money I'm putting down. But if it's up to chance and they're constantly stringing me along, nope, I'm not doing it. Fuck them and fuck that.
Looking at you, Genshin Impact.
As long as you're putting money into it that you feel like, first of all, it's money that you feel like the game deserves from you. Like, you don't feel bad supporting the company that for the product that you're using, especially for free-to-play stuff. Mm-hmm. You talk about how, you fell pretty hard. You hit like $300, not even of all of your own money in Overwatch loot boxes. I fell into a gotcha game over the past year. And yeah, it starts small, but then all of a sudden you're just justifying, well, I've already spent so much time on this and I've already put this much into it. I can't just stop. And that's the trap. That's the real trap. And I finally shook myself of it. But by then I was probably down like $50 to $60.
Yeah.
Which is low for somebody to like shake themselves out of it. Because there are people out there that are spending, I'm trying to think of one of the gacha games that I played. Star Wars. The Star Wars whatever one where you're like the hero collector. They have packs in that for upwards of like $500 to get characters that aren't even fully leveled and upgraded. It's ridiculous. And
that's actually whenever I hear a game has that kind of shit in it, I will actively not buy it anymore for two reasons. One, it's gonna fuck me up. I'm gonna get in there and like with the latest Mortal Kombat game, I was like, oh wow, this is a lot of that exploitative bullshit. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not going to, because I know, one, I'm gonna spend money, and two, I am not going to continue to give my money to that bullshit. And I would highly recommend that everyone listening, don't give them your money for that. Don't get obviously I can't tell you what to do, but I really don't think you should.
If you feel like it's worth it, then that's you. But
it's your money. It's your money. But these people are literally.
Look, I could do I could do 500 $1 bets or one $500 bet, and the $500 bet has a bunch of lettering saying it's best value. So I don't know.
It is best value. It is best value.
It's the best value that you're never going to get any money out of. Like it's like that. That's the of it.
I was gonna say tell that to my GameStop stock, but apparently it's soaring today, so never mind.
It's fluctuating pretty heavily due to the fact that a lot of people are still holding on to it, holding on to hope. It's
got them diamond hands.
Money is made up, man. Money's fake.
Yeah.
No, it's all
money is
imaginary.
fucking fake. Except
that's why I've been buying cryptocurrency. I'm buying literally cryptocurrency is internet real estate. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Man, Hearthstone announced its new expansion, and they're doing like a huge shakeup. They're basically replacing the classic set with what they're calling the core set, which they are giving to everybody for free, apparently. But they also might be adding a gacha game into Hearthstone, so I might be dropping that pretty soon. Because gacha games and me can get dangerous. We don't have a good relationship. And Hearthstone already has a gacha mechanic in it, in the fact that it's a card game.
I was gonna say, it's practically there.
Yeah, I should say cryptocurrency has a lot of its own actual moral problems, partially including the fact that it has been terrible for the environment. It is actually very bad. So
how do you mean terrible for the environment?
The amount of processing power it takes to mine.
You mean all the people mining it using energy and stuff? Okay.
Yeah. There's been a huge problem with that, and it's not going anywhere. Like it's kind of neat to be like, oh yeah, I've got some Dogecoin, and my the $100 I spent on Dogecoin, the Dogecoin is now up like 5,000%, and that could be pretty cool. But there's a lot that goes along with the cryptocurrency that is not exceptionally not great. So I want to put that out there. Like, I don't mean to call you out, Nick, but I think it's good to note
the old no ethical consumption under capitalism rears its ugly head again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mining it. I've just been investing over the years. Like that's all I've been doing.
Yeah.
Because the mining, it's not like it's the same reason that when you tell somebody, well, if everybody just stopped eating meat, the world would be better.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more than just, some people mining. There are server farms out there. All I'm saying is, I would like anybody listening to this. There is some moral duplicity going on with cryptocurrency. Don't jump on it. It's
the way you invest is like the number one rule: only invest with money that you're willing to lose, and that's what I do. Yeah. Like, I have a diversified portfolio full of many, many different things, and any one of them could collapse and I'd be okay. As long as the rest don't.
As they don't all.
As long as they don't all collapse, I'll be fine.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, like fucking Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever. Yeah.
Well, hey, I played a lot of Guilty Gear this week.
Oh yeah,
how is that? It's Arc System's next big game after Fighters.
Next big fighting game. So Guilty Gear, an infamously difficult fighting game to get into. Very, very high learning curve just from the start. And the trend with a lot of video games these days is like ease of access, trying to get people in, feeling like they're good at video games right from the start. I'm gonna go ahead and say Guilty Gear is not the game for you if you are looking for a quick, easy fighting game to pick up.
Is it less you compare the entry levels of this and Fighters, because Fighters I feel like I was pretty quickly able to pick up and understand the mechanics.
Fighters is comparatively baby's first fighting game. Like there are auto combos in it. There are things to make you feel like you are flashy. There are lots of shortcuts, ways to look cool without having to practice. Guilty Gear is very much methodical. This game definitely takes the pace down from previous Guilty Gears. And a lot of people have issues with its honestly kind of ugly UI. But I was having a good time with it. Maybe not a great time. The beta was fortunately free over the weekend, so I didn't have to pre-order or anything to dip my toes in. I don't know if I'm going to be buying in whole hog at $60 from the start from what I played, because just there's some stuff with the battle mechanics that they really like to emphasize like counter hits and stuff. So they freeze and take control away from players to like emphasize stuff a lot over the course of a single game. And I'm not a big fan of that. They also have an interesting it really sucks when you're playing a fighting game and you're stuck in the corner and the person's just on top of you and you can't really get out. They've built a mechanic where if you take enough damage in the corner, you just get smacked through the corner and it like resets the stage. Like you are just basically sent back into a neutral starting position, which is neat.
A bit of a catch-up mechanic, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat, hey, you've been stuck in the corner, so we're gonna let you out. But it also does a shit ton of damage. So it's more like we've taken out the part where you're stuck in the corner for a minute just eating a bunch of hits, and we've just sped that up, but also threw you back to neutral right away. So there's a lot of
kind of like the stage hazards from Injustice. Like you knock them through the wall, they fall down the elevator, all of a sudden you're in a new area.
Pretty much, and it's just like, hey, now we're both gonna get up, we're both gonna be able to stand up. You, as the person who was getting the shit kicked out of you, you've lost a bunch of health, but now positionally, you and the other guy are back on even footing. But there's a lot of stuff to like and dislike about it. 15 characters at the start, decent sized roster. But the cool thing about Guilty Gear is it's like every character plays wildly different from the others. Like you are basically able to play 15 very different games based on what character you are picking. So that's really cool. And I spent all of the time in beta with one character just because I wanted to figure him out. So my experience might change drastically if I picked up a different character and I'd be like, oh, I clicked with them immediately. This game fucking rules. Like it's very possible that is something that could happen. But I would recommend checking it out if you can. If they have a way to play it for free, which probably isn't happening, honestly, since it's going to be releasing very soon. But I would definitely suggest at least looking into it, checking it out if you're someone who thinks fighting games are neat. And they've got that really good visual flair that Arxis has been pumping out like crazy with its games since like Xrd, I would say.
I do love that about fighting games, like really playing with the fighter's toolkit to make them feel genuinely different, but still fit within the same like game mechanically. Games like Kaiser, you've played a lot of Tekken 7, right? Pretty much every fighter in that game has their own speciality.
Yeah, they play. You know, they still have to adhere to the control scheme that is set up via, Tekken. But I do have to say the way that characters differ in that game is very different from, say, fighters.
I just remember laughing my ass off watching a Donkey video where he's just playing Kuma and just laying on the ground and slap, just flopping around and doing all this damage.
Just being a big bear.
Yeah, it's being a big dumb bear.
It's really great when you control in that game. It's really, really great.
Oh, and speaking of fighting games, I completely forgot about that Mortal Kombat movie trailer dropped, and it looks cool. I'm honestly excited.
Yes, me too.
I love both of the Mortal Kombat movies that came out previously, even the bad one.
Even Annihilation.
Mm-hmm. And I am excited to see what this does. I don't know if in my heart of hearts it can stand up to that first Mortal Kombat movie, just due to the rose-colored goggles I have on.
That, yeah.
It kind of already handicapped itself for me right out the gate with Cole.
Yeah,
introducing
an original character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this feels
not
like
necessary.
they were. Yeah, it feels like they were too. They weren't confident enough for the characters from the actual fucking story to carry the movie, so they had to come up with this audience stand-in.
What's wrong with Liu Kang being the main character?
I saw the first film. I cared about Liu Kang. I cared about Sonya Blade. I even cared about Johnny fucking Cage. Why do we need this Cole character? It's weird.
So they can insert him as DLC to Mortal Kombat 11 or 12 or whatever.
Oh, right.
I subscribe to the fan theory that Cole is Johnny Cage, and after the whole thing's said and done, someone approaches him about a movie deal, and they're gonna say something like, "We got to do something about that name, though." And then
we can go by my middle name, Johnny.
I am willing. If I was a gambling man, I would put money on this being a Johnny Cage origin story kind of movie.
Wow.
Making Johnny Cage the main character. He did become more important as the lore went on in the game.
Yeah.
So
Mortal Kombat X, he is descended from gods and is the only one able to stop Shinnok. But then he loses, so we're gonna pass that power to his daughter.
Yeah.
To really put over the Mortal Kombat kids.
Oh, I love Johnny Cage's daughter.
Babies. Cassie Cage is great.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was honestly hoping more of the combat kids would come back for Mortal Kombat 11, at least in DLC or something, but to no avail.
Not all of them passed the scratch test, apparently.
Guess not. No one wants Takeda like I do, but he's got those cool arm whip things.
I know!
He's the Mortal Kombat, he's the Iron Man 2 villain.
I am actually stupendously happy, though, to see just how actually R-rated the film's gonna be. Because, like, it's not that I need ultra-violent films, but this is Mortal Kombat. If you're going to have a Mortal Kombat film, you've got to be able to have actual fatalities. Not that the first film wasn't fun in its own campy, cheesy way, but we've had that already. We had that. We had the PG-13 version. I want to see some real, honest-to-God violence.
I feel like I'm going to enjoy Kano. Kano looks fun in the movie.
Kano,
it's weird because they're pitching Kano as one of the good guys, and he is, in the lore, never that.
I mean, he's definitely an anti-hero here.
I
Like,
mean, but he is playing for the side of Earth, which is never what he does.
It's the side he belongs to, though.
Yes, and
I would
very likely he'll betray them and go into the classic Kano roots. But it's an odd choice. We've never had him start off even pretending to be one of the good dudes.
Yeah, he represents Earthrealm. He gets brought in, and he'll probably get bought out to betray people.
Yeah, he's gonna get an
Sonya.
offer. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that'll probably be how it goes, but it'll be fun nonetheless. We're talking about
Sub-Zero
games.
breaking Jax's arms.
It is. Like that's a cool little origin for that too, and that they're actually playing with the idea of the Ling Kuei and whatever Scorpion's tribe was.
Shirai Ryu.
That one.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shirai Ryu.
Shiri Ryu, Raiden.
It's not Japanese.
It's its own, my god, yeah,
it's
Raiden.
its own fake Eastern.
Raiden and Fujin. Shirai Ryu. And it's like, nah, we've been saying it this long,
The
we're not gonna change
Shirai Ryu.
It's really funny. Although, by the way, is that the original fucking... oh my god, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be the most racist motherfucker. Is that actually the original, oh my god, what's his name? Fucking
Shang Tsung? No.
Oh, Shang Tsung.
Okay. Well, I'm the most racist motherfucker.
At
I'm
least
sorry.
not in the film. They got him for the game though.
Yeah.
The way he sounded and the way he acted, I feel like he's definitely channeling the original Shang Tsung.
Probably.
Your brother's soul is mine.
Mine.
Oh god, I love that so fucking much. And
I want to go back and rewatch it again too.
Oh,
it has
I know, it's great.
begun.
It's so cheesy and camp and great in all the best ways. Unlike another quote-unquote video game movie that came out recently, the Five Nights knockoff Willy's Willy Palace or whatever.
Oh, is that not good?
Unfortunately, no.
That's a bummer.
They don't do anything good with Nick Cage, and that's probably by his own design, but he has no lines of dialogue in that entire movie. There's no tension. The kills are pretty boring. The story is non-existent. You
That's
think
disappointing.
you think they're going to do some stuff with it, but they don't. Pretty much every scene winds up like this. Either a stupid kid gets killed, or Nick Cage fights an animatronic and beats it handily and walks away not saying anything. And it's entertaining the first time. It's funny when you watch him beat the shit out of a gorilla in a bathroom, and then it happens again and again and again, and then the movie just kind of ends. It's meh. I can't believe I paid money for it, and I do not recommend it.
That's too bad.
Wait till it's free, then you can watch it. But it's not even. Man, when Nick Cage makes a movie, God flips a coin. For real.
It's either gonna be good or bad good.
And this is bad. Like,
yeah,
I love bad good Nick Cage movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're fantastic. And then every now and again he'll come out and do something fucking amazing, like Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy was awesome. I
haven't
recently
seen
watched
Mandy.
it.
It is a trip. I recommend being on something that alters your state of mind. Or not, because that might fuck you up.
No, it's visually arresting sober.
Yeah. It is.
There's also-
It is a strong movie.
There's also I also need to see Color Out of Space. That was also another Nicolas Cage film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
But looking ahead to the future, the PlayStation Direct State of Play, or whatever they call it, I think that's tomorrow, right?
Yes. They've announced it for tomorrow. I don't know if they've mentioned what's gonna be there. But
They haven't. Do you have any thoughts? I mean, this will come out after it, so we'll see how quickly we're right or wrong.
Well, they announced another PlayStation VR thing yesterday. I'm wondering if they'll show off more about that.
They did announce it yesterday. They also claimed that there's it's still very, very in development. The most they were able to talk about it was they want it to be, a bit smoother and one cord. They only want one cord going into it.
That would be nicer.
Yeah.
I could see they announced that there was going to be a second God of War, right? Well, another one like the one that came out.
At their last State of Play, they announced God of War Ragnarok. Yeah.
So maybe something with that.
I don't think we're gonna hear anything about that this time around. I think what we're gonna hear about is the next Horizon game, Gran Turismo, probably more about Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS5, which I'm making a jerk off motion with my hand.
Grand Theft Auto Online for the PS5. I don't even know if they're going to release all of 5.
Are they?
I could see them at least doing a trailer.
The last time they talked about GTA for PS5, they were only announcing GTA Online. I'm betting we're going to get some Ratchet and Clank though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, real quick, not to backtrack, but I just realized I never mentioned it when I talked about it. Guilty Gear, one of the coolest things about it, its netcode is using rollback netcode, which is significantly better than most of the fighting games on the market now. You can play people from literally across the planet, and it feels better than most online games and fighters. It's a very, very good netcode. And if there's any reason to actively support it right away and show fighting game devs that's something we want, that is a very good reason, because you can play people from pretty much literally anywhere, and as long as they have like a decently good connection, it's gonna feel good because of how rollback works. So that's really, really cool. Sorry, didn't want to jump off topic there, but saw someone mention it and was immediately like, oh yeah, that's worth shouting out.
That's a good point though, because I know a lot of people's biggest issue with fighters is the netcode can be a little wonky if you're not close to the person.
Yeah, and especially since we're living in a post-quarantine world where we shouldn't be gathering in person, it would be really nice to be able to feel like you're playing people and feel like, feels like you would be playing them, or feels like it would if you were playing them in person.
Actually have online tournaments and have them function properly.
I should also point out that yes, in fact, GTA 5, the full game, will be on PS5, and the online is going to be standalone.
Yeah, that's what I remember from the last PlayStation event, was they did a trailer for Grand Theft Auto Online, but no real mention of 5. It would not shock me if they're going to drop 5 on there. It's a real quick and easy goddamn port. The game's been out for over a decade now, it feels like. So Yeah, that doesn't shock me. I am a little bit more anticipatory of this because I did finally, after all of the hunting, manage to get a PS5. And so
Congrats.
So far, the only good thing on it is the built-in tech demo. But
that Demon Souls is probably pretty good. I haven't played it yet, I assume.
Yeah, but it's Demon Souls, you know?
Can you believe that there are scalpers out there who have literally complained about how they're being treated right now?
That's fucking ridiculous.
I can't believe that. Like, look, there's a nuanced conversation to be had about piracy. There is no conversation to be had about scalpers. Fuck them, 100%. If you're a scalper, you are scum. Fuck you. Like, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. I hope you get punched in the throat and your entire fucking, like, all the things that you bought get stolen. Eat a dick.
I don't know about going that far, but I do hope.
I said what I said and I meant it.
I know you said what you said and you meant it. My biggest hope for them is that eventually supply catches up with demand and they're just left with a billion things that they have to sell at cost or lower.
I mean, that's about as good as a throat punch.
It's a punch
in the
wallet.
To their wallet.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm hopeful that we get some cool news. I will say about PlayStation's state of plays. I keep wanting to say PlayStation Direct because that's essentially what they are.
Yeah.
The last few that they've done have had some really cool shit to show off at the very least.
Yeah, I have no idea what's coming, to be honest, but I feel like there's a good chance it'll be something cool.
But how about you guys out there? What are you excited for? What have you been playing lately? Did you see the new Nick Cage Five Nights at Freddy's movie? Did you like it? Because I didn't. I don't recommend. Like, this is not me saying you should go watch it and tell me what you think. This is, if you have already accidentally bought it, let me know. Well, either way, thank you for joining today. We hope you're all staying happy and healthy out there, and we'll see you guys on the next Talkcast Podshow.
Later, everybody.